Hi there, welcome to another Parker Adams walkthrough video. We are here on our pontoon on the Hamble River today, and it is with a tinge of sadness that I bring you this walkthrough tour, because it means it's time to let go of our Cobra 8.2 metre demo rib. Now, we've had this rib since about February this year. I've negotiated lots of sales with Cobra off the back of it, and it's time to move it on to a new owner. Now, the boat has done just over 30 hours, it's had its first service, and it's ready to go to a new owner. It's a 2023 boat, so it really is immaculate, and I'm really excited to bring you this walkthrough tour.
Before you get started, check out our Parker Adams Superstore with loads of main brands for upgrading your boat, such as Raymarine, Garmin and Fusion. Check it out after this video.
So, as with many of the walkthrough tours, we'll start off on the stern. Now, the Cobra brand is a fantastic brand. Anybody that knows ribs knows the Cobra ribs, and it really has been an evolution in boat building for the way that they started off building Cobras in about 2005 when Josh and Steve took over the company through to today. Now, this is the latest generation Nautique. It's an 8.2, and I'll run through the features and the benefits that I've got with this boat and the things that we spec'd on the boat from new. So let's start off on the rear. The first thing to note is the Suzuki engine. Now, this boat is powered by one of my favourite engines. The Suzuki 350 is an absolute beast of an engine. It's what's called the Suzuki 350B, and it has a Duoprop. So what that means, it has twin propellers on the end of the outboard shaft, and they counter-rotate, so you don't get snaking off to one side that you do on quite a lot of boats and outboards where you just have a single propeller going in one direction. Now, the torque on this engine is fantastic, and it gets this rib going along around about 50 knots. I say I've had 51 slightly downhill on it. I think there might have been a bit of tide with me. So it is a fantastic performing rib, and that engine has got such a, I think it was described by someone on the on a rib group, it might have been Hugo from Powerboat and Rib, as a demonic howl, and it's absolutely true. It really does roar above 4,000 RPM. So in terms of the back of the boat, I love features like these. You've got rope holders here so that the ropes are stored really nicely inside. They used to be on the outside edge, but people could then hit their head, so Cobra moved them on, and that's one thing I love about the Cobra ribs, is it's always been a constant evolution. In each generation of boats, and even in each model year, there's something different. They've improved upon the design in every single year. So I'm just going to grab the GoPro for a second and just show you the way that the rear of the boat is moulded. You can see this really nice transom well here, so all the water from the back of the boat always sits into this transom wheel and then drains out from the back. You've got a synthetic teak which is laid, there's a multi-teak on this, so you've got different colours through it, so it feels very, very genuine and authentic. You've got a water inlet here. The reason for that is that nestled just inside there is a shower. So you have a transom shower on this boat, a nice 3-step ladder, so you come out of the water and then shower yourself off on a nice sunny day. You've got 4 cup holders at the back, and they're all backlit as well, so they've got a blue LED light that shines through. You've got another LED light at the top, which is your single navigation light, and of course you've got LED navigation lights as well. In terms of the design options on the 8.2, you can have it with a U-shaped seating at the back, so it has a full U-shape at the back and then a table that folds out. Well, on this particular boat I went with the option that actually has a back-to-back seating, so here you have a brilliant seat with loads of storage in it where you can get 2 or 3 people sat in this position here. One of the great things about this position is you're pretty much completely out the wind, so if you've got people that don't like having their face pelted with wind, then this is a brilliant spot to be. Inside this, it also houses a little secret. So you have a compartment at the top here, drop that down and you've got a really good sized locker space in there, so you can pop anything you like into there. And another thing I really like as well is you can see you actually have USB sockets just in here. Something that I've suggested we have is adding a little pocket or something there just to drop your mobile phone in it, so it can charge into there. And you can see these bolts for the seating system, and I'll explain a bit more about those in a second. So that's a really good storage space there. Close it up, clip it down, and just fold that back into position. And then you've also got more storage underneath. So this storage space goes all the way around here. You've got a fire extinguisher in there and a lot of storage space, and you can also put the cockpit table into that locker as well. Speaking about the cockpit table, you can see there's a post just down there. There's 2 locations for the table. You can have it in its location at the front here, or as you come around to the back, you can pop it into here. Now on the back of the Cobras you've got lots more storage space under here. So on a gas strut that lifts up this rear locker, and then underneath you have access to your battery panel. So you've got your house, emergency parallel, and your start, also your windlass trip and your house trip, and an auto bilge pump there. What I love, and again it just shows how how a premium rib manufacturer works, is that even inside this locker you've still got the synthetic teak which runs throughout this. Another little touch I always love is the fact that Cobra always mount their batteries onto these really nice shock plates, so it just takes that level of wear out of the batteries, because you're going through the waves, you're not subjecting the batteries to a huge amount of punishment on there. So I'll pass that back and we'll just close that down again. The stitching on this is a Bentley stitching. What it means by that is you've got a double diamond stitch on here, and it gives that really, really nice high-end car feel to the boat. So that's all closed up. You can see just down here we've got the, they're called the flush fit Fusion speakers. So that's the Fusion XS range of speakers which are flush fit, and then you've got stainless steel courtesy lights which are throughout the boat. So we've got white courtesy lights everywhere on the boat. So let's move on to the helm position. One of the biggest things that's a little trick on the Cobras is that these are actually suspension seats. So they don't look really clunky, but actually they've got a suspension mechanism which is built into the back of the seat. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. There's a sit on there. There you go. It's not even Christmas yet and it's moving quite a lot. So you can see that just goes along. It's only got probably about 2 or 3 inches of travel, but it does mean that if you're in a rough sea, it just takes that little bit of extra pressure away from the legs or the back. The Cobra seats are always incredibly comfortable. You've got a couple of options there with how you sit them. So you can roll that up, so the bolster comes up, and you can really hunker yourself in here with a kick plate at the bottom, and that's a great position always. That's probably my favourite position to drive, with that bolster up, and the seat feels really, really supportive. Or on a longer passage, just pop it down, and you've got a really nice supported seat with nice side wings there as well. The helm position on this is fantastic. I also always upgrade the steering wheels. So this has got an upgraded steering wheel. You can see the Cobra logo stitched into the middle there. And it's a really good chunky feeling steering wheel that just adds to that real quality feel. Again, much like the rest of the boat, the design of the helm has evolved throughout the years. I've got a 9-inch Raymarine plotter in there. There is an option to have a 12-inch Garmin as well, but the 12-inch Raymarine wouldn't quite fit in. We did try. There's an electronic gauge there for the Suzuki. You've got a Raymarine VHF. This boat's fitted with an electric windlass, and you've got a counter on here as well, so when you let the windlass down, it tells you how much chain is out. A range of carling switches, and this really nice little compass set into here as well. Further down, the latest generation of Suzuki start-stop, kill cord, and then also a Fusion radio system there and a horn, and that's all linked in to the Raymarine plotter as well. So it's a very, very functional helm position. Everything is at hand. You've got 2 speakers that point towards you as well. There's also a deck light that's underneath this position here that illuminates the base of the floor as well. It's a very, very comfortable place to be, and everything's really close at hand. So if you're out in some rough seas, here's the helm, here's the throttle, you really do feel beautifully in control of the boat. Whilst talking about rough seas, I think it's important to note that one of the things, again, that I think Cobra have really evolved over the years is this hull. It is a fantastic hull. We went out and did drone work on this a couple of days ago, and you can see here on this overlay of the video, it's a very, very deep V hull. In fact, it's one of the deepest Vs in the industry, and it just slices through the waves, but gives a really nice, soft, comfortable ride, but incredibly self-assured. Turns on this boat are beautiful. It really banks into a really tight turn, and you feel totally safe and secure at all times. It really is a stunning boat to drive, both leisurely but also quite aggressively as well. I like this synthetic PVA decking they put up on here, so it means that if you put a mobile phone on here, it's not going to slide off, so that's a nice feature. That was something added for the 2023 model year boats, and you've also got a couple of beer holders or cup holders just at the top there as well. Little feature, I'll just bring the thing around here. I also specified this boat to have a charging point here. So that is a scan strut charging point. I'll get a little plug for our store in here. If you like that, we can buy those from the Parker Adams Superstore, but they're brilliant because what you do is just slide the phone into the top of it and they wirelessly charge the phone. So it keeps it safe and secure on the rib, but at the same time provides charging as well. So we like that. Let's keep walking forward. So One of the things that people say on ribs is if you're spending this much money, and let's not hide the fact that these are expensive ribs. Fully spec'd up, this rib is around about the £170,000 mark. So this is a huge investment. And what we hear a lot of the times is that's a lot of money to spend on a rib where you don't even get a toilet. You do get a toilet. So inside this, what is very ergonomically designed console, you have a head. You'll notice when I lift this up, it's been designed so that it just misses the table. And you lift that up into there. If I come around here, I'll show you what's inside here. All later synthetic teak, you've got a basin, you've got lighting in there, it's an electric flush toilet into a holding tank, and it's actually a fairly nice place to be. And granted you wouldn't spend hours in there, but it's pretty pleasant. It's got LED lighting throughout it as well, so it feels quite nice and airy when you're inside. And then you can obviously open it from that hatch when you're inside as well. Close that back down again and clip that into position. What they call the suicide seat is also beautifully upholstered with the diamond stitch, and you've got these grab handles here as well, so when you're sat down here into position you can really hunker down here and use these grab handles beautifully. A touch that they evolved with the latest generation of Nautique, which came out in 2017, are these steps. So when you step on the boat from a pontoon, you've got steps just down there, so you can step straight onto there, so you're not moving all the way down into the hull. And it does just create that incredible feeling of quality, and that everything's been thought about on this rib, which I think is so important. If I spin this table around into this position here, just grab the camera again, you can see these really, really large, generous lockers. They run all the way around here. They're not dry lockers, but because you've got this lip built into it, you get very, very little water in there. But any water you do get in will drain straight into the bilge down there. It's exactly the same on the other side. I've got a pump in there and also the bag for the cover. So lots and lots of storage space. As we move forward, just underneath this hatch here, if I pull this out, drop the camera down there, need two hands really, you can see that down here you have all the windlass controls, again beautifully designed. You've got your controls at the bow, so you can see how much anchor chain that you've got coming in, and then this little keepsake here as well, just to stop the anchor releasing. It's a stainless steel anchor, and I'll show you that in a second, but you can see all the chain just tucked down in the corner there. Just shows you how quality the boat is. Pop that back into place. You've got a cleat on here, and I really like the Cobra. They've had these for years. It's sort of a line grabbing cleat, I call it. So when the line is through there, it goes into these jaws and makes sure it can't come off. Okay, so let's carry on back down the boat. But before I do that, I just want to show you how this arrangement here can turn into a full Sunpad. So I mentioned that you've got a teak table that can be in two locations. It can either be here or at the stern. But what you can do is just lift the table off. The table does also come with its own bag, so it's a custom embroidered bag, and that can be fitted anywhere. And then just unscrew the table leg. So the table leg unscrews. It takes a few turns, there's always a few more than you think, until that's loose. I'll just pop it down on the floor for now. And then you can fit in Sunpad cushions. So there's one there. There's another one here. Now you have elasticated strops, so that means you can push them all into position there so they won't come out. But for the purposes of this, I can show you here. That now creates that bow area into a really nice Sunpad area. Now, we always like to talk about height on the videos. I'm not 6 foot like Jonathan. However, you can see here, if I lay down all the way down here, my 5'10" frame perfectly if it's sunbathed, so it'd be easily enough space to get a couple of people sunbathing at the front here. And it does add a lot more versatility to the boat, because it means you've got an area at the back for dining, area at the front for sunbathing, and just a lot of versatility on a rib that of course is 8.2 meters. So what I did, let's take this back and work our way back down the boat again. So again, you can just see this really, really lovely flex, again, you can see this really, really lovely multi-teak design throughout the boat. That's the table leg position here, so you can set up a dining area for about 5 people to sit around here. What I want to do now is just step off the boat and just show you the view of the boat from the outside. It is, in my opinion, one of the best looking ribs on the water. I've gone for a blue colour scheme on this, blue and white, it's very classic. It's got a carbon effect. You can probably just about see that in the weave there on the tube. Of course, it's Hyperlon tubes. You've got really bright white gel. The hull is gel as well as the top fittings. Stainless steel anchor and kick plate is just inside there as well. And everything about the boat, to me, just oozes quality and is, I'm a little bit biased, one of the best looking ribs out there. So let me just pass that back again. As you can probably tell, I love Cobra ribs and I love this rib. This is a rib that we spec'd up, took delivery for boat life, and it's time to go and find a new owner, having put about 30 or so hours on the engine. It's a fantastic rib, and anybody who wants to try it, see how this Cobra performs, please come and talk to us at Parker Adams. We're the Handball Ribs dealer. We'll be delighted to talk about Cobras, both this one or any other requirements that you may have. So thanks as always for watching. If you got this far and haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. All the best.